Eli Turner never meant to send that message. His thumb was trembling from exhaustion, his phone screen cracked down the middle, and the baby crying in the background made every breath feel like a battle. "I'm sorry to bother you," he typed with slow, embarrassed taps, "but could you loan me $18? I need to buy formula for my daughter. I'll pay you back Friday." He thought he was texting his coworker Sam, the only person he trusted enough to ask. But exhaustion plays tricks on desperate minds, and when he hit send, the message flew into the phone number one digit off. One digit, one tiny mistake, and that mistake was about to change his entire life. Miles away, in a penthouse made of glass and silence, Alexander Reed, Millionaire CEO, 32, brilliant, feared, respected but rarely understood, was staring at the blinking notification on his private phone. No one texted that number. Not employees, not relatives, not even friendships he pretended to maintain. He preferred distance. He built his empire on precision, control, and the vow he made at 17 after his mother died alone in a hospital he couldn't afford. He would never be poor, helpless, or vulnerable again. But now, as he read the shaky message from a stranger asking for baby formula money, something inside him cracked. He'd known hunger. He'd known begging. He'd known the heaviness of shame so thick it hurt to breathe. For a long moment, he didn't move. Then he typed back, "Who is this?" Eli's heart stopped when he saw the reply. He glanced again at the number and felt nausea rise. "Not Sam. Not even close. I'm so sorry," he typed quickly. "Wrong number. Please ignore. Sorry." He didn't expect another response. He expected the world to stay the same cruel place it had been for years. But the stranger texted again. "Do you really need formula money?" Eli stared at the screen, frozen between pride and fear. Pride lost. Fear remained. "Yes," he wrote, "but please, I'm not asking you." It was a mistake. The little apartment still smelled faintly of his late wife's lavender shampoo. She had died 2 months after giving birth. Heart complications, sudden, devastating, and medical bills that drowned them. Since then, Eli worked 2 jobs, slept 3 hours a night, and still couldn't keep up. His daughter, Lily, was the only thing keeping him alive. But tonight they had run out of formula, and he'd used the last diaper that morning. The grocery store closed in an hour. Another message, "What store are you near?" Eli frowned. "Sir, please, I don't want charity." "It was a mistake." "It wasn't a mistake," the stranger replied. "Just answer." Something about that tone, firm, absolute, leaving no room for argument, made Eli surrender. "Greenway Market on 12th. Stay there." The reply came instantly. 20 minutes. Eli blinked. "Sir, no, please, you don't have to," but the number had already gone silent. The baby began crying again, her tiny fist shaking in the cold air. Eli pulled her to his chest, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "It's okay, Lily. Daddy's trying." Wind whipped across the empty parking lot as Eli paced outside the store, Lily bundled in the only warm blanket they had left. Customers came and went, glancing but never seeing. His fingers had gone numb from the night breeze when a sleek black sedan rolled in, far too expensive to belong in a neighborhood like his. The back door opened, and a tall man in a charcoal coat stepped out, the kind of coat that cost more than Eli's monthly rent. His hair was perfectly styled, but his eyes were something else. Tired, older than his age, full of storms. "Eli Turner?" the stranger asked. Eli instinctively stepped back. "I didn't give you my name. You Venmo linked it," the man said softly. "You use your real name on your account." Eli flushed with embarrassment. He hadn't even thought of that. "Look, sir, whoever you are, thank you for coming. But this is too much. I shouldn't have. It's fine." The man held up a hand. "Let's go inside." Inside the store, the fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. The Millionaire CEO picked up a cart, ignoring the stunned look from the clerk who clearly recognized him from magazine covers. "Pick what you need," the man said. "Just formula," Eli whispered. "That's all. You said diapers too." "I didn't want to." "Pick what you need," the man repeated, softer this time. Something in the gentler tone made Eli's throat tighten. He placed 1 small can of formula and 1 pack of diapers into the cart. "More," the man said. Eli hesitated. "Sir, I'm not asking again." For a moment, Eli felt like a child being scolded. But not cruelly, more like someone reaching into the darkness to pull him into light. So he took more, a month's worth of formula, a few more diapers. Then, when he reached for the cheaper brand, the man quietly switched it for the higher quality one. At the counter, while the cashier rang everything up, the man pulled out a premium credit card. When the receipt printed, Eli swallowed hard. Almost $400, his entire weekly income. "Sir," he began, voice shaking, "I swear to you, I will pay you back every cent. I'm not a beggar, I'm just trying." The man finally looked him directly in the eyes. "I know." And then, unexpected as rain in the desert, "I grew up like you." Eli blinked. "No way." "Yes way," the man said with a tired chuckle. "My mom worked 3 jobs. I went hungry more days than I can count. I know what it's like to ask for help and be ignored." Eli felt something warm bloom behind his ribs. Shared pain, shared survival. They carried the bags outside. Eli buckled Lily into her stroller and wrapped her gently. "Thank you," he whispered. "You didn't have to come. I don't even know your name." "Alexander," the man replied. "Alexander Reed." Eli froze. That Alexander Reed, the man who owned half the tech companies on the West Coast. The man whose face appeared on CNBC every other week. "You're joking," Eli breathed. "No." Alexander smiled, and for the first time, it looked real. As they stood in the parking lot, Lily began giggling suddenly, soft, bubbly laughter, her tiny hands reaching out. Alexander's expression changed in an instant. His breath hitched, his eyes softened dangerously. "May I?" he asked. Eli nodded. Alexander touched the baby's hand, and something unfamiliar, almost sacred, passed across his face. Eli didn't know Alexander's history yet. He didn't know that Alexander had lost a newborn son 5 years ago after a devastating medical complication. He didn't know that Alexander's marriage had collapsed under the weight of grief. He didn't know that the sight of a tiny baby giggling revived a piece of his heart he thought was permanently dead. But he could see the emotion, the gentleness, the longing, and he understood enough. Alexander cleared his throat. Eli, what do you do for work? Part-time mechanic at Baxter's garage. And I drive delivery at night. Do you have childcare? I can't afford it. I take her with me to the garage. They let her stay in the break room. Alexander nodded slowly, his mind clearly running at CEO speed. Do you want a stable job? Eli blinked. I have 2 jobs. No, a stable job. With a salary, benefits, health insurance, and a daycare program. Eli's mouth fell open. What are you saying? I'm offering you a job at Reed Industries. Facility maintenance, good pay, day shifts. You can bring Lily to our on-site childcare center. Eli shook his head in disbelief. Sir, you don't know me. I know enough. You work hard. You sacrifice. You ask for help only when you were desperate. You love your daughter. That's all I need to know. Tears hit Eli's cheeks before he could stop them. He turned away, embarrassed, wiping them with the back of his hand. I'm sorry, he whispered. I don't mean to cry. Cry, Alexander said quietly. You've earned it. Lily giggled again, as if blessing the moment. For a long time, they stood in the cold, 2 men from opposite worlds, bound by something that didn't care about money, status, or circumstance, humanity. Simple, unfiltered humanity. Over the next weeks, Eli's life transformed. Reed Industries welcomed him with open arms. The steady paychecks meant hot meals, warm clothes, and bills paid on time. The company daycare adored Lily. For the first time in years, Eli slept without fear gnawing at his bones. And every Friday, he placed $20 in an envelope labeled, Repay Alexander, even though Alexander kept insisting he didn't owe anything. One afternoon, after work, Alexander approached him in the hallway. You're working hard, he said. You're doing well. I'm trying, Eli said, smiling shyly. Thank you for everything. Alexander hesitated, then spoke softly. Do you still want to repay me? Eli nodded earnestly. Of course, a promise is a promise. Alexander took a deep breath. Then do one thing for me. Eli looked up. Anything. When you see someone struggling, Alexander said gently, and they ask for help, don't look away. Eli felt the words settle into his heart like a vow. I won't. Months passed. Spring melted winter. Flowers replaced cold winds. And Eli, now stronger, steadier, happier, stood at the grocery store one evening with Lily in her stroller. A woman ahead of him, wearing a worn coat, counted coins with shaking fingers. Her little boy tugged at her sleeve, whispering, Mama, I'm hungry. She whispered back, I know, baby. I know. Eli saw the embarrassment on her face. The fear, the same fear he once carried. The cashier said softly, Ma'am, you're short by $12. She looked down, defeated. I'm sorry, I'll put the milk back. Eli didn't hesitate. I've got it, he said, stepping forward. The woman turned, startled. No, I can't, it's okay, Eli said, smiling. It's not charity, it's just your lucky day. Her eyes filled instantly. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you so much. As the cashier rang up the items, Eli felt something warm bloom inside him. A circle completing itself, a promise kept, a life changed, because another life had changed his. Later that night, Eli texted Alexander a simple message. I paid it forward today. Alexander replied within seconds. Good. That's how the world becomes softer. Under the dim glow of his lamp, Eli lifted Lily into his arms. She looked healthier, happier, stronger now. He kissed her forehead and whispered, one wrong number saved us, baby girl. One wrong number. And somewhere in a penthouse glowing over the city, Alexander Reed set aside his phone and looked out the window. For the first time in years, he didn't feel alone. Because sometimes the smallest collision of lives, the wrong text, the wrong number, the wrong moment, turns out to be the miracle that saves us all.